speak today. John and I are consultant anaesthetists from Swansea, so there's a bit of a Welsh theme developing this afternoon. And we like making stuff. Now, head-mounted displays are nothing new. Where's our next slide button? There we go. So they were originally developed by Ivan Sutherland back in the 1960s as a weapons sighting system for the US Army Cobra attack helicopters. And they've been subsequently well researched and validated. Now, the ability to monitor patient vital signs while simultaneously engaged in clinical activities such as line insertion, ultrasound-guided regional anaesthesia, epidurals or patient transfer has some obvious advantages, particularly in the unstable patient, and it has been shown to lead to increased response, faster response to critical incidents. However, the technology has been slow to transfer across to the medical field. Previous solutions have been bulky, have required a cable link and a backpack. So, a couple of years ago we had the launch of Google Glass, and they offered an alternative approach. But apart from the dangers of giving Google access to confidential patient data, these devices are expensive and they're hugely over-engineered for our requirements. The high-powered processor and the high-definition screen just eat batteries, and there's a battery life of about 2 hours. We therefore set ourselves the goal of developing a solution using readily available components to produce a low-cost device for under £100, which would also have wireless connectivity so that we could give our anaesthetics from the comfort of the coffee room and keep an eye on what's going on. Now, the monitors we use in our hospital are all GE Datex monitors. They're wonderful bits of kit, but our first challenge was to access the data from these monitors. Now, GE Datex, are they here today? No, good. They provide their own software and hardware solution called Datex Collect, which is wonderful, but it only allows you to download data not in real time. It's just for analysis, and it's stored in a complex proprietary format, which is very difficult to access. However, all the Datex machines come equipped with a good old RS-232 serial interface, and I have an unhealthy habit of hacking anything with a serial interface. It's like a red rag to a bull. And I'm very grateful to Dick Nichols, who I know did a lot of work on this with SCATA, and Dick's shared a huge amount of information and expertise with me, for which I'm very grateful. Now, our medical electronics department wasn't keen on me hacking their Datex monitors. But hey, it's amazing what you can find on eBay. For just £255, I ended up with a pallet load of broken Datex monitors delivered to my home. So I set to work with my trusty oscilloscope, and I've got a Realterm is my serial port hacking app of choice. And it took a while, but using Python initially, running on a laptop, eventually reverse engineered the data protocol and was able to extract the data. And then the next job was to transfer it into C++ and have it running on an Arduino, so that we had a sort of a translator box which would take the information from the Datex, convert it into physiological parameters, and then wirelessly beam it. Initially we used an XB just because it's a simple form of wireless communication protocol. So it all went in a little box, and it plugged into the back of the Datex monitor and interfaced with the head-up display, and ultimately we've now got it so that it's working on Bluetooth and it's connected via a smartphone. The optics were a problem. To save power, we had to use a monochrome OLED display, which only had 32 by 64 pixels. That meant designing a completely new font that would still be legible at incredibly low resolution. You wanted it inverted to indicate alarm states. And then we realised, hang on a sec, there's a prism in the optics of the head-up display, so I had to then redesign the font, mirror image, so that it would look the right way around. I'm going to hand over to John now to talk more about development of the head-up display.
Thank you. I like playing with electronics. I've been doing it since I was 14, but in the last few years it's just taken off. The amount of technology you can build into something for under £100 is just immense. And I also like building things in miniature. So, yeah, if we go to the next one. Everyone's heard of the Google Glass. I had to play with one myself. I think it was marketed to the wrong audience. I think for specific applications it would be brilliant, actually. And as a wearable vital signs monitor it might be. But it's really a whole mobile phone attached to your face. It's got low battery life, voice recognition, processor intensive. Voice recognition doesn't work very well, certainly not in a noisy environment. Now, there are hobbyists like me that build their own. So here's, that's a reasonable attempt. This is not so reasonable. Class that as a fail, perhaps. This is something about 2009. It's actually a pair of early video glasses. Hacked about, attached to a pair of workman's glasses, and that just displayed a video image from a camera. In intervening years, bought a 3D printer. That's printed on a sub £1,000 printer built in plywood. This is a current version of it. So people say, what are 3D printers for? Well, you've printed little octopus models and things like that. Well, one thing is if you're an electronic hobbyist, they're fantastic because you can make watches and enclosures for things, which are always a nightmare. But usually they look like these ugly boxes you buy from the shop. So that's that. These are, in my view, Sen01s. They're not made anymore. They're an unusual pair of video glasses in that you can see down. If you look down, you can see underneath them or above. They don't just cover your whole face like most of them do. So hacked those around and managed to get a kind of working monocular display that just displayed whatever was on your iPhone. So you can watch a movie while you're peeling spuds, for example, in the kitchen. Useful things like that. So this is the first attempt. Basically, I took the Prism system out of these. The guy who designed this actually then went on to work for Google Glass. And here's my MakerBot wooden printer printing away. And this is the circuitry. This is a whole computer the size of a postage stamp. You can buy on eBay for about £5. A wireless receiver, an OLED screen. OLED screen is great because only the lit pixels use power. There's no backlight. So if you've got a tiny battery and you're trying to keep the power consumption down, these are great. Okay, it's only monochrome. A charger in the battery. So this is the sort of first attempt. Obviously based on Google Glass, you can actually download a fake Google Glass 3D file from an open source website, and you can see I've packed everything into it. I took a series of photographs of my head, uploaded them to the web, got a 3D model of my head. This is the exact shape of the side of my head, so it's custom made to fit me. So this may be the future, custom fitting devices, you never know. Technology's there. Tried one with a headband, looks weird, very comfortable though, actually. Put some buttons on it, so you can scroll through little menus. Found a much smaller screen that was more appropriate to the size of the Prism. It's had a sort of version 3, and so now it looks really like a fake Google Glass, doesn't it? But it did work. And this is receiving data wirelessly from this box, which, as Dave said, plugs into the back of any AS3 to 6 series monitor. I haven't tried it on one of the absolutely latest GE ones. Hopefully it'll work. I knew someone at a design company in London called Method, and it's a long story, but they sort of started working on this as a bit of a favour. So they played with Lego, they were all great artists, they came up with some really funky designs and some not so funky prototypes. The main thing was it should not look like a Google Glass and it should just be a display. If there's any processing to be done, let it be done in here or in your attached phone. Why do you need a whole high-level computer on your head? It just eats batteries. So zooming on, because we don't have much time, here's the new circuit board, there's the display. It's in 4 quadrants now, which you can sort of focus your eye on the centre to begin with. The shell is 3D printed. That box of bits for 3 would cost you about £40 from digits2widgets.com, and it will arrive in a week from when you email them the file. Wall thickness up to about 0.5 mil. Pretty much better than I could print on my hobby printer. There's a little USB port here so you can flash new software onto it. And the entire optics, so there's a prism in here, there's a lens, and the whole circuit board is in this part here with the screen. And the concept is you just flip it up when you don't want to look at it, and you flick it down when you want to see something. and that will actually turn it on at the same time. It's extremely light. You can wear it all day long. It's actually pretty comfortable. And so that's where we are. And Press Fame, of course, followed in the local paper. And this is our website. And we've got working prototypes that we can show you. I've got my... This is a severed head in the bag, actually. There we are. There we are. And he's a good-looking guy, isn't he? There we are. So, but it's not just a dummy. It works, as does the watch. And this has a demo mode, which we can show you over lunch.
Yeah,